High-speed descents, breathtaking cliff drops, jaw-dropping tricks, all in one of the most picturesque settings on the planet. The Southern Utah landscape once again hosts one of the most spectacular events that this sport has ever known. Freeride mountain biking's elite return for the 12th edition of Rampage. You're watching the Red Bull Signature Series. Hey everybody, Soundmaster Kelly here, your host of the Red Bull Signature Series, and allow me to welcome you to the outskirts of Zion National Park in southern Utah to the little town of Virgin. This is one of the most unique events in sports, not only for the spectacular and daunting runs that these riders execute, but no other sport allows the competitors a blank canvas to physically build their own individual courses. The riders, armed with only shovels, pickaxes, and sandbags, and each allowed 2 diggers, carve out their lines, build their takeoffs, and set their landings. This is all over the course of 8 days and includes practice time leading up to today's finals. In the 12 editions, only 3 men have stood on this podium twice: Kyle Strait, Brandon Semenuk, and Kurt Sorge. They're all here today, all looking to capture a record 3rd title, but there are plenty of other talented riders that would like nothing better than to upset that quest. Some hope to join the second wing club. Guys like Cam Zink, he is strong. And this year, even a couple of local rookies have joined the start list. Our first competitor is about to drop. It is about to be on. So we're gonna check in with Todd Harris and Cam Mccall.
Thank you, Sal. It is very unforgiving land here in Virgin, Utah. But for the 12th edition of Red Bull Rampage, we have pulled out all the stops. Cam, you've been to the majority of these events. What is it about this that brings these athletes back year and year to really push the limits?
It's a unique day that only happens once a year. It catches lightning in a bottle. That venue just sits there dormant all year, and nobody rides from top to bottom except for this one day, and that day's today.
All right, you've been watching practice and seeing the guys go through their paces. Who do you like and who do you think's really in touch with this course this year?
Conventional wisdom always tells you to keep an eye on Cam Zink and what he's been lining up in practice all week. And if he stomps the tricks that are being whispered, the rumors, if they're true, he could have a good chance of walking away with it.
All right, before we get to the first run, let's check in with the 3rd member of our crew. Here is Tina Dixon.
Well, first off, if you guys are watching this event, congratulations. You are in for a huge treat. You're also in for probably a couple nerve-wracking moments, and you may even feel your heart jump out of your chest a couple times. You may even say, wow, those guys are absolutely crazy. And that is okay, because the majority of the population, they wouldn't even touch this mountain. But you have to also remember that everything you see on this mountain is calculated down to the T. Now look behind me. That is Cam Zink's line. It measures about 62 degrees. And I asked Cam about it, and he said, you know, when I first look at the mountain, if I can visualize it, I know it can be done. And it's a process from putting the shovel in the dirt. They take it step by step all the way to competition day. And you also have to remember, it's not just an 8-day build, but this event, Red Bull Rampage, is an accumulation of a lifetime of riding, guys.
Well said, Tina, as we get set for the first rider to get this thing underway, the 12th edition of Red Bull Rampage here in Virgin, Utah. And Cam, before we get to Brett Reeder dropping in, we got to take a look at this course because, again, it is so daunting and every rider has his chance to leave his mark.
Well, this venue, it's really hard to wrap your head around the magnitude of this terrain. The best way to do it is to walk around like Tina's doing right now. But the next best is to take this aerial view we're looking at provided by DJI. This is the 2nd year at this venue, and it's the steepest venue ever in the history of this event. It's the only venue that's impossible to walk up within the boundary flags. The riders can choose anywhere in between the two ridges to choose their line. And you see right now, take out those manicured paths and goat hills and lips and landings, and you have completely unrideable terrain. So a lot of credit goes out to the builders for sculpting this magnificent course.
And Cam, you have been a builder and you have been a rider here before. What is it like to try to create a line out of what you've been given by Mother Nature?
Well, you look at stuff and you have these crazy ideas, but you're not sure if you're actually going to make it possible. And that's why they have so much time leading into the event day to make it all possible. We're looking at the steepest line in the history of the event right there. And the great thing about this year is that this is the second year at this venue, so they're able to build upon what they created and started last year.
Really out in the middle of nowhere here in Virgin, Utah, in southern Utah. You're about a 5-hour drive from Salt Lake City, about a 2-hour drive from Las Vegas. But right now, this could be the landscape on Mars as we get set to watch the best riders in the world, really, Cam, put it all on the line. And the man that gets the honor of doing just that is Canadian Brett Reeder, the 24-year-old from Vernon, BC, set to drop.
Number 1, Brett Reeder. 3, 2, 1. Reeder out front.
Well, Reeder on course, and those of you at home may recognize this name. This is a big shot in the slopestyle world tour. You saw him at Red Bull Joyride, but he's one of the few riders who branches out and competes at this big mountain event as well. This is the only event of its kind. And Brett Reeder, one of only 3 riders in the field today who compete in both slopestyle and big mountain freeride.
Just see how steep that is, and Reeder just making it look so easy, methodically picking his way through his line.
He has a unique section here.
There we go.
And of course he's got to sprinkle in the tricks that we know him for, a flat drop backflip, linking it right into a 360 drop. So really playing toward his strengths, getting those tricks in there. But watching this kid in practice, I know he has something really big planned for this last jump. But he's been taking a lot of hits. Let's see if he can land it when it counts. Oh, a cork 720! Oh, under rotation for Brett Reeder.
So the unforgiving terrain bites the first rider here at Red Bull Rampage. Good to see Brett Reeder up and riding. That was a sensational run to that point, Cam. He cleans that up, he could be on the podium.
Well, he looked really on point. He's coming off of an injury. He's been battling a knee problem all year. So to see him show up to this event and look that strong at the top portion of his line is really great, but that trick really took him out there at the bottom.
So the judges looking for something a little cleaner here from Brett Reeder.
So in the technical terrain at the top, this is where you want to just maintain control. Fluidity is definitely an important part of the judges' criteria, but tricks is another one. He sent that flat drop backflip deep down the landing, but here's the trick where the train came off the tracks, the cork 720. He under rotates. Part of the reason for that is he's trying to adapt a trick from slopestyle to this big mountain terrain on that gigantic downhill bike.
2 runs, your best score counts. Reeder checks in with a 43, so he'll certainly be looking to run number 2. But first, he'll have to wait for the rest of the world's best to compete on their first runs. We are just getting started here at Rampage in Virgin, Utah, and you're watching the Red Bull Signature Series. Back in Virgin, Utah, this is Red Bull Rampage, part of the Red Bull Signature Series. One man has gone, and that was Brett Reeder. Had issues at the very bottom as we go to the top, and this was Ethan Nell just a short time ago. He comes from St. George, Utah, just 45 miles down the road.
Well, what more can you say about this kid? He's the rookie, he's the hometown hero. Plenty of people out in the audience cheering for this kid right now. The world knew he had it in him to compete out here with the best in the world at Rampage, and after dropping in for his first ever competition run, he proved that he belongs.
Yeah, Ethan Nell checks in with a decent score, a nice 77. And the great story here, Cam, he used to be a digger for some of these pro riders that are competing now, and here he is on the biggest stage in the sport.
Yeah, great to see him climbing the ladder. Can't wait to see his second run.
All right, this next rider is known for pioneering new ground here at Rampage. American Cam Zink was the first to 360 a drop over 30 feet and the first to backflip a drop over 30 feet. But what does it take to go first? For more, let's check in with Sal Masekela.
Thank you, Todd Harris. Each year since Rampage's inception in 2001, riders, judges, and spectators have arrived at this event and labeled certain lines or drops impossible, can't be done. Then one rider scopes it out quietly, challenges that, and suddenly proves everybody wrong. But this is where things get interesting. After the impossible feat is achieved, suddenly several riders follow, like it was easy. How's that possible? What happens in our minds once we visualize something can actually be accomplished? Why is it so much easier to go second? And more importantly, what does it take to go first?
For the first time in Red Bull Rampage history.
Once the very first Rampage happened, and somebody went, oh my God, you can ride a line down that bluff. Somebody else went, oh, I can ride that line, I can add a little bit more to it. The physical challenge is still the same. The only thing that changed is the mental frame we built around it.
I've been experimenting with angles lately, anywhere from like 61 to 65 degrees, just trying to get an average on this whole thing, which is steep.
You know, we talk about this as adrenaline sports, as if people are getting off on the fear. What they're looking for is like almost a trance-like focus and calm, so focused on what you're doing, everything else just disappears.
It's funny sitting back and looking at how many people are at some of these contests. I just kind of was so focused on the riding and so tenacious that I didn't really let the helicopters or the people or anything get to me.
Technically, it's called transient hypofrontality. Frontality is right here, it's the prefrontal cortex. This portion of the brain gets really, really quiet, it deactivates. We can no longer separate past from present from future. We're plunged into what researchers talk about as the deep now. So we experience this as liberation, freedom, risk-taking goes up, creativity goes up.
You know, you're at the top, probably the heaviest moment of your life. But I know that I can do it. It's not haunting me like, do I have it in me?
Flow is as close to high-speed, near-perfect decision-making as we can get. And in Rampage, every decision has to be flawless. When he goes through it and it succeeds, he's gonna get a little more dopamine. He's gonna get a little more focus. He's gonna get faster muscle reaction times. And then you get a whole mess of performance-enhancing neurochemicals.
The biggest dirt-to-dirt national train 360 drop in the history of mountain biking.
I just want to see what's possible and I want to be the one to do it. I'm just drawn to it. It's just in my nature, it's just who I am.
Maybe we'll reach the limits of the human body somewhere along the way, but with Rampage, it doesn't seem like we're getting anywhere close to it right now.
Todd, the reason I have goosebumps right now is because so many historical moments in this sport have started with this guy, Cam Zink, sitting up in that start tower.
So here he goes on his first run. This is 31-year-old Cam Zink from Reno, Nevada. A quick shot of his family waiting for him at the bottom.
All right, so Cam Zink is approaching this steep line. It goes straight down the mountain, point to point, connects him right back to Rider's Right Ridge, controlling his speed. There we go, he's off the first of a handful of head-high drops as he goes down this steep pitch. And he needs to hit this step up, he gets it clean, bumps into the wall a little bit, but he's back up on the ridge.
Carrying so much speed, and he's still got a lot of work to do.
So he has big plans for the middle of this run. He's gonna connect to his rhythm section right now, but he's leading his way onto that massive vertical drop that he tried to 360 last year. There's rumors that he might try something different this year, let's see.
Oh, he goes for it!
Oh, backflip off of the flat drop. There's no kicker there to initiate the rotation on that flip. And he's got another. He flips the second drop too. Oh, huge for Cam Zink. Couple more features. See if he has any more tricks for us.
Why not?
There we go, 450 to finish things off for Cam Zink.
Well, he certainly did the heavy lifting in the top portion of that course, but the bottom certainly was as equally impressive as we've seen from Cam Zink over the years. What a run for Cam Zink here, and that's just the first run of two.
Oh, that's gotta feel great there. Getting the congratulatory hugs from his wife, Amanda. His daughter Ayla there congratulating Daddy on probably one of the best runs he's ever done in his life, and that's saying a lot.
Look at the steepness of this. Those are some incredible shots from the DJI drones.
So he makes it look so easy in full speed, but let's look in slow-mo. Watch as those tires just continuously bounce off the ground as he's trying to stay in control. But the biggest move of this run was what we're gonna see coming up right now. It's definitely the biggest flat drop backflip ever done in this terrain. He's on a downhill bike. You see there's no takeoff there to initiate his rotation. He almost over-rotated, but having great air awareness, he was able to move his body appropriately, grab that rear brake, and avoid over-rotating. He crashed on this drop last year, so a lot of redemption right now, stomping an even harder trick. And then to finish things off, an over-rotated 360, about 450 degrees of rotation on that hip. You gotta have the tricks all the way down, and Cam Zink filled that run out.
Cam Zink's waiting for his score to come down. It's gonna be huge, and he cracks the 90s, a 90.33 for Cam Zink. He goes into first place, and he's standing by with Tina.
Yeah, and I'd say it's safe to say that, Cam, the emotion is running pretty high down here, not only with you, but your family. Take us through that run from the top through those flips.
That was it's kind of the ride of my life, I guess. I mean, we try to elevate ourselves every time, and every year I'm a better bike rider today than I was yesterday, you know, and trying to just do better every day, and that was the run of my life. I mean, the up top is, usually when you do a big line like that, like a big steep thing, and when you're in it and you don't crash, like it seems easy afterward, but that thing is still terrifying. Like, I'm still terrified of it, and it's scary, and to be able to drop in off the gnarliest big mountain line we've ever seen out here, and then biggest flat flip ever, like, so many, I mean, luckily we have to dig all week, so we don't just have to sit and dwell on it, because it's nerve-wracking. I mean, there's so many things in that run. I mean, even the 450 at the end, it was like 450 and downhill bike is kind of hard, so I almost threw it away right at the end. So, man, very, very pleased, and it just resonates even more. The more kids I have, the more invested interest I have with family, and like, it's just means so much more to make it down safe.
Yeah, and what a great first run, and I think everyone down here needs to catch their breath after watching that.
And Tina, to put that score into context, that 90.33 that Cam just laid down, last year's winning score was an 84.33. Much more certainly still to come from the hills of Virgin. Now, if you're a mountain biker and riding 65-degree faces is not your idea of fun, fear not. Utah's also home to world-class cross-country trails for all skill levels, with endless miles of slick rock and pristine dirt hidden amongst these beautiful backdrops. It is truly a cycling paradise, and why Southern Utah is known as the Mecca of mountain biking. You're watching the Red Bull Signature Series. Welcome back to the Red Bull Signature Series. This is Rampage from Virgin, Utah. And there is our current leader, American Cam Zink, who just put up an amazing score of 90.33. Tyler Mccall getting himself ready, but while we were away, Tom Van Steenbergen, 23-year-old out of Canada, laying down a beautiful first run.
Yeah, Tom put down a great run. Now, a lot of the top riders out here, you'll notice, are a little bit older. Tom's a young guy, but he actually specializes in this discipline of big mountain freeriding that's usually reserved for guys who are about 10 years older than him. He had a great run, technical line choice up top, a front flip after that, and then this flat drop back flip. Maybe the drop's not as big as the one Cam Zink did, but he'll get a lot of points for that.
An 84 for Tom Van Steenbergen, so he will look to run number 2 to try to move up the ladder. Again, Cam Zink leads with a 90.33, and this is 28-year-old Tyler Mccall, the younger brother of Cam Mccall.
Well, really excited to see my little brother drop in right now. He's got a really steep and technical start to his run. It's a similar line to what he rode last year, but he's added more technical bits up top, and he's hoping to get some more tricks down there at the bottom. So he's approaching this feature now, this narrow run-in to what is known as the Goblin. And there we go. He puts his tires right down where he wants them to be on the landing there. And now is when he's going to have to start dumping out the bag of tricks. He dips off the ridge and floats back up on top of it with a backflip. And now his line takes on a bit of a bobsled look here as he navigates through these berms. He's approaching the biggest drop in his line right now, Todd. There we go, he gets a trick off of it. Suicide no-hander off the drop he calls Corona Rita. Huge amplitude, which is another one of those criteria on the judges' scorecard. And a step-down flip at the bottom. He's got one more trickable feature here. A nice under-rotated backflip there. They call that the underflip. He drops a shoulder into it, just getting a little bit more technical on the angle of rotation. Great run for Tyler Mccall.
T-Mac claiming it, feeling good, and he should. Cam, I know you're a little bit biased because it's your brother, but that was one of the best runs we've seen from him. This should be a very nice score.
Oh, hands down, such a great run. It's great to see him put it all together. I've seen firsthand how much work he's put into getting all those tricks lined up for this run.
Look at this drop.
So we'll take a look back at the replay. That's the Goblin right there. Really easy to go off of course since the run into that is only about 2 feet wide. But here's the biggest drop on his line. He gets the no hands off, puts him behind his back. We call that a suicide no-hander. And then the step down flip right here. This feature he calls the crack because he's going in between two rocks. It's a really blind takeoff, but he puts it right to the landing.
So Tyler McCall's score now coming in at 86.33. So Tyler moves into second place behind American Cam Zink in that 90.33.
Rider 16, Thomas Genot. 3, 2, 1. Tommy G.
Thomas Genot, the 24-year-old out of Belgium, dropping in now for his first run. And I can attest, Cam, there is nothing like this in Belgium.
Now, people at home are going to be thinking, did Todd Harris just say from Belgium? That has got to be one of the flattest countries in the world. Yet somehow, this guy has crafted his mountain bike skill, and he's become good enough to be amongst the best in the world out here in the toughest terrain that this sport has to offer. Oh, a step-down flip as he peels off of the ridge into his section. A nice manual bump jump. So he's getting those style points, Todd, but he's going to need some tricks. Now, he's a trick specialist, so expect it. There we go.
Nice.
A regular direction rotated 360 into an opposite rotated 360. This guy is a slope style specialist, one of the few who takes their skills and applies it to this terrain. What does he have for us at the bottom? Another opposite 360, dangling that foot off the downside of the bike for an added degree of style. Huge run for Tommy G.
So the 24-year-old from Belgium with a little sizzle to cap off his first run. A lot of nice European style here.
You know, this terrain, we talk until we're blue in the face about how challenging it is, and only the best riders in the world can make this stuff look rideable. But it's really rare to see a guy coming from such a flat country with a dirt jump and slopestyle background, a guy who could podium any slopestyle event all summer, come out here to Rampage and do these tricks that we know him for in slopestyle on this terrain. Look at the slow motion version of this opposite 360 one-footed Euro. Great style. Let's see what the judges have to say about that.
Well, that's going to be a great score for Thomas Genot. He goes into second place, just ahead of Tyler Mccall with an 88.33, one behind our leader, Cam Zink. Coming up next, the only rider to compete in all 12 Red Bull Rampages and the first to win it twice, American Kyle Strait. This is the Red Bull Signature Series.
Welcome back to the Red Bull Signature Series. This is Rampage near Zion National Park in Utah. I am your host, Sal Masekela. Over its 12-event history, Rampage has proven to be one of the most difficult contests to win in mountain biking. In disciplines like slopestyle, riders like Brandon Semenuk, they've achieved near-flawless victories 5 times. But why is a win so hard at Rampage? Why are there only 3 competitors to repeat a victory, and why in its 12 editions has no one ever won it a 3rd time?
The level of riding here is insane.
Anybody winning this once, let alone twice, that's a feat in its own.
To do it twice is pretty special. There's 3 people who have done it, but no one's done it 3 times for a reason.
And this is Kyle Strait, a 2-time champion.
He won in 2004 when he was a little kid. He won in 2013 when he was a manimal.
Oh!
Believe it or not, this is my 12th Rampage. This is every one of them so far.
Definitely an advantage when you've ridden this kind of stuff your whole life.
There's only been a handful of people to actually win this event. It's not an event you come into every year and pull back-to-back wins. It's ever-changing.
Semenuk's a good example of how this event can go. He obviously had a winning run every year he competed, but just had slip-ups or crashes. It's pretty easy to go down on something stupid out here. The first time I won was my 3rd Rampage. You know, coming in the first couple of years, I was just stoked to be there. And then after those 2 years, definitely was chasing the win.
He's won the thing twice, and Storch's been killing it every time he comes here.
Pulling off the three-peat would just put a stamp on all your efforts throughout the years.
Until everyone rides down the hill, you just don't really know where you're going to stand.
I wouldn't be here unless I thought I could still win. I'm going to do everything I can to get that W.
So here he is, Kyle Strait, the 30-year-old out of Alpine, California, looking for number 3. And this is going to be a huge challenge because, as you pointed out, Cam, this is the steepest course in Red Bull Rampage history.
And he's dropping into this steepest line here at this venue. So, I mean, it's just crazy to think we may see history here. 3 riders looking for that 3rd win. Kyle Strait was the first guy to win it twice. Will he be the first one to win it 3 times? He's creeping into his line right now, and you know that's what's on his mind. Oh, man, look at that. He bounced after taking off on the first drop. So many head-high drops amidst that 61-degree angle slope, but Kyle Strait makes it look easy. Folks at home, it's not easy. He's just one of the best in the world.
And one of the biggest riders out there, so you can imagine the kind of speed his momentum is carrying him down through this course. And now he comes into some very technical sections.
Here we go. Here's the drop that we saw Cam Zink flip earlier. Kyle Strait, classic suicide no-hander off that drop. That's a trick he used to win both of his titles that he has in his bag of accomplishments. There, the step-down flip. He tried that last year and had problems, but perfect this time around. Into a Superman and onto the pedals. One last hit for Kyle Strait. A nice shoulder buzz table. Nice work, Kyle.
So he goes Superman into a full sprint a la Tour de France, and he finishes it off with a beautiful finish there with his buddy Cam Zink. And what a show those two have put on so far.
Well, great POV angle here from Kyle's helmet. Listen to that sound. Those are his brake pads squealing. I feel bad for those things. Kyle's a big boy, and that's a steep line, Todd.
We talk about just how steep this course is, over 60 degrees. Talking to Olympic gold medalist Johnny Mosley, he says he's never skied anything that steep before.
Yeah, he said that snow oftentimes won't even stick to a pitch that steep, so these guys are really pushing the boundaries of physics out here at Rampage. So take a look at this suicide no-hander off the drop. This is the trick that got Kyle Strait his 2 victories in the past, and nobody does it like him. Full commitment, dipping the front tire down as he leans his entire body off the back. Classic style.
That is the epitome of kids don't try this at home. As Strait waits for his score, it's an 87.33, so Kyle Strait certainly in the running. Will he be the first man to win Rampage 3 times? He's got one more run in today's competition. Right now, let's check in with Tina Dixon, who's standing on Kurt Sorge's line.
All right, so we talk about how perfect and calculated these riders need to be. Well, let me just show you how precise they actually need to be on some of these step downs. All right, this one here, it is 45 feet from the takeoff to the landing. And in order to hit that sweet spot, they put these rocks down, you can see, along the left, along the right, and the bike needs to go right in between. And they do that so they mark where they need to go so they hit that landing perfectly and are able to ride away. So guys, if you are walking around Rampage and you see rocks like this, rule of thumb, do not move those rocks.
And everyone knows that. Sometimes it's not even a rock. Sometimes they use a little toy figurine. As we take a look at a Canadian Kurt Sorge set for his first run of 2.
Rider 18, Kurt Sorge, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, here we go. Kurt Sorge is such an animal. He won out here just 2 years ago, and he had a great line last year. Wasn't able to get on that podium, but he's made some amendments to this line. He's put a kicker on the big drop at the bottom. I'm excited to see what he does on that thing. Usually when you see a kicker, you're thinking that means tricks galore. Great style so far. This section of his line is basically like a rhythm section. Tight transitions in between all these jumps. Let's see if he has any tricks for us. Oh, a backflip, tough no-hander. He just styled that one out last year. A huge trick this year. Oh, and there it is. He backflips his big drop at the bottom. Sends it really deep down the landing. Right into that suicide no-hander. One last trick jump. An off-axis flip to finish things off for Kurt Sorge.
That run had just about everything The flips, the suicide no-hander. You look what the judges are looking for, the speed, the fluidity, the tricks, the line. That was a full pull.
Wow, getting congratulations there by the guy who's sitting in the hot seat, Cam Zink. Let's take a look back at Kurt Sorge's run.
And just some amazing looking images from DJI.
Technical start to this line. He drops, and then he drops again right away. See that? A lot of riders go alongside of that where there's only one drop. Slashing out that back tire, throwing the dust. The judges love that because it plays towards fluidity, style, all the stuff that the judges are really looking for. And then let's talk about tricks. The backflip tuck no-hander. Looks like he angled the landing on that this year, so he's able to do a rotational trick, and he put a kicker on this one. One of the biggest drops out here at this venue, and he sends it deep down the landing, eyeing up the rotation on that backflip. You can see as his goggles line up right there with the landing, he knows that he's calculated things properly. Great run for Sorge.
The man who won it in 12 and 15 is standing by with Tina.
Yeah, well, Kurt, I think you surprised a lot of people with that run, especially Cam Mccall. He didn't expect some of those tricks, including that step-down flip. Did you surprise yourself at all?
I knew what I wanted, and it was nice to come back this year and get a bit of redemption.
Why so casual with what you just did?
I don't know. It's been on the mind a lot, so just, I don't know, you got to be focused and just know you know what to do and just go throw it down.
You know, you're one of the few riders that has won this event twice before. What does it mean to you to come back year after year and be able to perform a run like that?
Yeah, totally. I don't know. I want to keep riding and keep progressing and, you know, get to ride with so many amazing guys, especially at this event. Don't get to see them all the time. So it's just a really epic place to be and an event to be a part of.
All right, well, right now we're waiting for scores, guys.
Wow, Tina, that was an amazing run. Kurt Sorge, two-time champion of this event. This has got to be in the 90s, wouldn't you think, Cam?
Oh!
92.660 for the Canadian. So Sorge is now the leader at Red Bull Rampage. American Cam Zink slides into second.
Oh man, Cam Zink is gonna have to get back up to the top of that course and do it all over again.
The two-run format has Kurt Sorge leading after one run with a 92.66 ahead of Zink's 90.33. The state of Utah can be enjoyed by more than just cycling enthusiasts. It also is home to some of the most beautiful campsites in the world, ranging from full-service facilities for your RV trailer to rustic camping. Utah has the site to meet your style. Whether it's for a quick one-nighter or a multi-week adventure, camping in Utah makes the ultimate escape. You're watching the Red Bull Signature Series from beautiful Virgin, Utah.
Welcome back to the Red Bull Signature Series. You are watching Rampage. I am your host, Sal Masekela. There's not a huge turnover in this discipline of big mountain riding here at Rampage. It is scary and high consequence. The competitors here have been crafting their skills for a very long time, some of them as long as 17 years. But creeping through the wall of veterans are a few rookies who are asserting themselves as forces to be reckoned with. One in particular upset the ranks last year big time. His name, Carson Storch. Cool name. Last year, he exploded onto the scene with an amazing line that put him in third place on the podium with veterans Bizet and Seminuk. So, what's Storch going to deliver this year with a little more experience under his belt? And why, in a generation that is totally obsessed with slopestyle, would he be inspired to chase the far more dangerous discipline of big mountain?
There's so many kids chasing slopestyle just because of how much more accessible slopestyle is. Rampage seems like such a far-off thing to get the invite to. For me and a lot of younger guys, we use slopestyle to rise the ranks and get into Rampage. Now that I'm in Rampage and I'm in the big mountain world, it's what I want to do and it's kind of where my career is going. But slopestyle was my way in. Just being a part of Rampage, it's like an honor. You win Rampage, it kind of goes down in the history books.
He's turning a lot of heads really quick, and I love to see the future being bright for American mountain biking as well as just big mountain riding, period.
I think it's important for young riders to pursue big mountain because there's so much room for the sport to evolve. The more young riders get into it, the more it's going to progress, and it could go so far.
Carson Storch set to drop in on his first run of 2, the 24-year-old from Bend, Oregon.
So excited for this kid right now. I'm lucky enough to live in the same town as him. We get to ride together all the time, so I know how much preparation he's put into this run right here. He's riding further riders left than anybody else in the field. He put a ton of work into building this new section. He's creeping into a pretty good sized vertical drop right now. And here it comes. There we go, there's his big one, leading into a huge bench cut and a trick jump to put himself back up onto the ridge, a suicide no-hander. Now he's back connected to where he rode last year. And Todd, if you think back to last year, he won best trick with that huge 360. I gotta think we might be able to see it again here. So he needs to scrub a lot of speed, a lot of vertical on this drop, not too much out. He spins it again. Oh, it lands it perfect. Oh, huge motocross style on that hip for Carson Storch. And he has even more new features down here to finish things off. He knows that he needs more tricks at the bottom of his run than what he had last year. He flips his step down, and watch, it connects to a skipper across that ravine right after, linking it to a 270, an action-packed run for Carson Storch.
Right in front of the big group of fans that have congregated at that jump for that very reason, and Carson Storch is ecstatic about that. And Cam, he should be. At 24 years of age, he doesn't have the same amount of experience as a Kyle Strait or a Cam Zink, but he is certainly pushing the limits of progression.
Yeah, he's younger than most big mountain specialists that you see out there. He still hops on his slope style bike here and there, but you can tell that in the last 365 days, he's put an intense focus on Rampage training, riding primarily on that downhill bike, and it's paying off. That 360 won him the best trick award last year, and he stomps it clean again here a year later. Now, even more style on that hip too. He was able to manicure the run in to get more speed, more amplitude, which the judges love, and this step down flip is also new. Really technical to link it right into that skipper to get across the ravine, and that 270 was a great way to finish things off.
He finished 3rd last year. Carson Storch looking for a good score here on run number 1. It's an 87.66. So Carson moves into 4th place. Remember, the man that is leading the competition right now in the midst of run number 1 is Kurt Sorge of Canada, 2-time champion here. He is sitting on a 92.66 as we check in with Tina Dixon.
Well, one rider I'm really excited to see is Ethan Nell. You know, he's from St. George. He's a local. This will be his very first Red Bull Rampage. He grew up riding this type of terrain. And, you know, I'm actually from Utah, and so I've spent a lot of time down here. And I know this scene, like the locals, they put their time in, they volunteer here at this event. So to have someone like Ethan compete, that's really special. And he's already proven he belongs here. And I spoke to him earlier, and he seems so calm, cool, and collected, and really excited for this opportunity.
Yeah, it's great to see Ethan out here, a guy that used to dig for some of these pros, now getting his opportunity.
Rider 21.
All right, here we go.
Brendan Semenuk. 3, 2, 1.
Semenuk is on course, fresh off a huge win at Joyride recently up in Canada, and he's a 2-time champion here at Rampage.
Well, it's always exciting to see Brandon Semenuk drop into any contest, but right now, he's our winner from last year. We have a new format now. The leader from last year goes last, so he'll finish off run 1s for us. But if I were Kurt Sorge sitting in that hot seat, I would not get too comfy with Semenuk on course. A flat drop flip where he didn't even have an air last year, so he's added some to his line. Now he's coming into that big hip. Oh, huge flat spin, 450, adding a knack to it this year, linking it into the suicide no-hander. And now a 360 drop. Oh no, he went off course.
Almost taking out the cameraman, Brandon Semenuk down. Just looks so frustrated. Remember, this kid won this event as a teenager back in 2008, and here he is looking for a 3rd title.
I mean, I hate to say it, but this is familiar. We've obviously seen him win this event twice, but we've also seen him throw it away a handful of times. Just goes to show how difficult it is out here. Started off real smooth, adding some style, a tabletop on that technical double drop. The judges love the technicality up top, and then you need tricks. He didn't even have that feature in his line last year, so his builders have been hard at work. But here, bringing more amplitude to the 450 he did last year and adding a variation with that topside knack-knack. But here's where things went wrong. The 360 drop transferring to the rider's left, the right side of your screen right there, you can see him veer off of his prepared landing, and then he lost the front tire right here. Frustrating end to this run for Brandon Semenuk.
So Brandon Semenuk will retrieve his goods and his bike. His score comes down as a 48.33. That does him no good. The bad news is he's got to head right back to the top as we are getting set for the second run. After one run, Canadian Kurt Sorgi, a two-time champion, leads the way with Cam Zink in second and Belgium's Thomas Janone sitting in third. You're watching the Red Bull Signature Series. Welcome back to the Red Bull Signature Series. This is Rampage from Virgin, Utah. And there's a look at the current leader, Canadian Kurt Sorgi. Dropping in next is another Canadian, Brett Reeder, as we begin with run number 2. Remember the format, 2 runs, we keep your best score.
Reeder, 3, 2, 1. Reeder.
And Cam, with this re-rack format, means Sorgi can sit back. He will be the last man to drop in, as he is the highest score from round 1.
And it seems like a long time ago, but if you think back to Brett Reeder's first run, he had that crash at the bottom, so that explains why he's now dropping first. Now, he was as smooth as could be up top last run, and he looks to be on a similar pace right here. All the style in the world from this slope style specialist with the bike skills to ride out here at Rampage. He goes for that flat drop flip again with his head so close to the rocks alongside that right-hand side, right into that 360 drop. Now, he's smooth, but you know he's thinking about when he crashed last run. He's got to get that cork 720. I'm hoping he throws it down again. Suicide no-hander leading in to this trick jump. He goes for it. He stomps it. The cork 720, perfect, couldn't have been any better, and finished these things off with that nice flat off-axis backflip. So much style from this kid.
Absolutely blitzing the course is Canadian Brett Reeder here on run 2.
Man, just think about how much pressure he must have been feeling. He didn't get to just go back up and try that cork 7 again. He had to wait through all run 1 riders, get those tricks up at the top, the flat flip, the flat 3, and then just hope that he lands this cork 720. Rotating that downhill bike 2 times around, he couldn't have done it any better.
Remember, he picked up a 43. He's trying to take down Kurt Sorgi, who has the 92.66, and this is a huge improvement. An 89.33. That moves Reeder into 3rd place currently. And he is standing by with Tina.
Yeah, thanks, guys. And what a giant score for Brett. But I think even more important than that, that's a way you pick yourself back up and land a second run. How redeeming is that?
Yeah, I was out for redemption on that one. I've tried that trick 5 times this year, and that was my 2nd one I've landed. So I've been beaten up on that, and including my first run. So to come from the top and all the way down and like just pull it around and continue on to the last jump, and now back in here in the finish corral, it's awesome.
Yeah, you guys do so much hard work up at the top. Was there any hesitation at all to pull that trick?
Well, yeah, I was at the top, and of course there's like a thought of like, wow, it'd be nice to get re-invited back to the contest next year by just doing a mellower trick on it, like a safe trick, but I couldn't. Like, I've been after that trick this whole year, so and it's so hard on my downhill bike. I could do it with my eyes closed on my slope style bike, but like this thing is a totally different story. So yeah, feels good.
Nice job, Brett. What a way to land a run, guys.
So Brett Reeder's day is done. He's currently in 3rd place with that 89.33. At the top of the mountain sits Brandon Semenuk. And remember, it was just a short time ago that Semenuk crashed on run number 1 as the winner of last year. He went last, but he's sitting on a 48.33, Cam.
Well, this is great to see Brandon Semenuk able to get right back to the top of the course while the blood is still pumping. Now, with these aerial images provided by DJI, you can actually wrap your head around the magnitude of this venue. Looks like he's carrying even more speed now as he approaches that flat drop flip, lands it even smoother this time. And now look how much speed he has coming into this hip. There we go, the 450. Well, he misses the knack-knack, but wow, he lands so far. Somehow holds on. Great control out of this kid. Now he's got to land this 360. He does. Put it in the middle of the landing this time. So now we get to see what he had planned down here at the bottom. Great style on the step down leading into the trick jump. A nice flat spin, 360, one-footed can-can, getting that variation. What a quick run, full of action from Brandon Semenuk.
So this would be a much better score for Semenuk on run number 2 as the defending champion. The question I have to ask you, though, is this enough to unseat fellow countryman Kurt Sorge right there in that 92.66?
Well, it's going to be tough. Let's take a look back at the replay. So he had a difficult line choice there, adding some style on that steep technical double drop with the tabletop. Now, huge amplitude on this 450, but he missed the variation. Landing long, but holding on, and sometimes at Rampage, judges love to see you kind of on the edge of your seat, loose on the verge of crashing, but definitely fixed that 360 drop. You see, he put his tires in the middle of the landing. Here's a great angle on that 360. You see him put his foot over on the other side of the bike. We call that a can-can.
So Semenuk signing autographs for the kids here in Virgin, Utah, waiting for his score to come in. It's a good one, 89.66, and that will put Brandon Semenuk on the podium for the time being. We'll see if he can stay there. We've got local and rookie Ethan Nell coming up when we return. This is Rampage from outside of Zion National Park in southern Utah, and you're watching the Red Bull Signature Series. Welcome back to the Red Bull Signature Series. This is Rampage from Virgin, Utah. We see Cam Zink, who's currently in second place, heading back up to the mountain, along with our current leader, Kurt Sorge, 2 veterans of this event. But now a local rookie is up next. This is 20-year-old Ethan Nell from St. George, Utah.
Rider 3, Ethan Nell. 3, 2, 1. E-boy.
Well, a lot of people pulling for this kid. He's definitely the next big hope for the future of big mountain freeriding, focuses attention solely on this type of riding. And look at that, he rode that same top section as a guy who's sitting in the hot seat, Kurt Sorge. So we already know there's proof that the judges loved that line option. And Ethan Nell carrying a lot of speed here on the ridge. Oh, flat spin 360. He straight aired that jump last run. You don't usually see a trick like that up on the ridge with all the exposure, getting that step down flip that we saw in run number 1. All in all, he just seems to be carrying more speed now, Todd.
Well, he may be a rookie, but he lives just an hour down the road, and look at that drop!
Oh, he did the suicide no-hander onto that lily pad feature. He didn't trick that in run number 1, so a lot of improvement here already. Now coming into this final trick jump on his line, what does he have for us? Another huge flat spin 360 going so long. How did he hold on to that?
Almost overcooked it there, Cam, but Ethan Nell is stoked on that. The 20-year-old from nearby St. George, Utah. At his first Red Bull Rampage, he's claiming it.
Well, this kid definitely has proved that he belongs here and then some.
And just some amazing looking images from DJI.
Let's take a look back. Here's that flat spin 360 that really caught me off guard up on the top of the ridge. And then linking it into that step down flip that he had in run number 1. So a lot of tricks linked together with a ton of fluidity and unique line choice. This lily pad feature is his own take on this part of the mountain. Everybody has one landing. He takes off, lands, and then takes off immediately after the first air. And this really impressed me. This jump was hard for these guys to clear in practice, but somehow he sends it all the way to the bottom here, luckily able to hold on.
And that might have been the best save of the day for Ethan Nell, just 20 years of age, as his score comes in on run number 2. And it's a 90!
Wow!
So Ethan Nell, for the time being, is on the podium.
Wow, that's gotta feel great.
What a performance for that young man in the corral, celebrating now with Tina Dixon.
I think the crowd, yes, I think the crowd just spoke. I mean, they absolutely absolutely love you, and why not? You're the local, and you are representing this area with that run. How close was it to what you wanted to do?
The run exactly how I wanted, how I planned it, and it all worked out. I was super stressed about the flat spin up on the hill, but it all worked out, and I'm super, super stoked. So,
you know, to be here as a rookie and now just be in podium position and represent St. George. You grew up here. What does it mean?
It's such an honor, like coming here every year, digging for the boys, and I finally got in this year and wanted to show what I could do, and it worked out, and I'm so happy.
Guys, you heard that from a digger to now sitting on the podium.
And he's rocking the athlete armband. As you look at the current leader, Kurt Sorge, he leads with a 92.66. Cam Zink in second, and Ethan Nell currently sitting in third, but much more still to come as we quickly check in with Sal Masekela.
Thank you, Todd Harris. The sheer beautiful setting of this location, juxtaposed by the incredible danger that these riders face as they descend this mountain, drop these cliffs, clear these gaps, and ride on the edge, is breathtaking in every way possible, which means there is lots to talk about. So, how about we strike up a conversation about how awesome this is, huh? Yes, follow the Red Bull Signature Series at RBSig Series. It is with that hashtag Red Bull Rampage. Or you can go to RedBullSignatureSeries.com, where we have even more exclusive content that we have cooked up for you about this event and others, plus our entire schedule for the year. You can also download the Red Bull TV app, which allows you to watch this show and catch up on every episode from every season. Amazing, right? Yeah. You're watching Rampage from Virgin, Utah, here on the Red Bull Signature Series.
Welcome back to the Red Bull Signature Series. This is Rampage from Virgin, Utah. And just look at that precarious start of this course. Poised to drop in next is Tom van Steenbergen, the 21-year-old from British Columbia. His first run score was an 84, and Cam, that's when you really have to figure out, am I in the right business? As he looks down the business end of that start.
Well, I'm trying to figure out what's on his mind right now, because he's not in the start gate, but is he really gonna do this? He has this trick that he does. He's been doing it in video parts. Oh, no way! Caveman off the start drop at Rampage. We've definitely never seen that before. He was holding onto his bike, standing on his feet. He jumped off the cliff and threw his bike underneath him and landed on it. I can't wait to see what the judges do with that. Wow, look how much speed he's carrying. Throwing dust off the side of the line.
And he front flips it.
Perfect front flip, even smoother than run number one, actually. Okay, he has that flat drop flip that he did in run number one. Let's see if he goes for it again. Steep connector into that. He's got nice style on the hip as he approaches the drop he's calling El Chico. Here it comes. Will he go for the flat drop flip again? He does. Oh, perfect.
Very
going
nice.
A little bit deep down the landing, but sometimes the judges love it out here at Rampage. Now, a couple more opportunities to impress the judges here. The final trick jump. What does he have for us? A big backflip, high amplitude to finish things off. Tom van Steenbergen definitely making Rampage history with the way he started that run.
That start alone was worth the price of admission and the hike to the base area. What a show by Tom van Steenbergen. He stood up there for a while. We're thinking, is he having an issue with the wind? Is he thinking about not going? He's not even in the start gate.
Well, that's typically what riders will do, is they'll kind of weigh out their options when it's windy, and we're thinking, why is he not in the starting gate? But throwing the caveman, and I can guarantee you he didn't try that in practice. And then connecting right there into his double drop. He did drop a foot a little bit coming into that, so the judges might dock him a tiny bit, but will it balance out with the fact that he's doing stuff we've never seen here at this event? He's got the big flat drop backflip. Judges loving it. We saw evidence of that when they scored Cam Zink real high. Tom's a little bit shorter drop, but still, nonetheless, very difficult.
Well, that start was certainly amazing. An 84.33 is what the judges thought of that. So not a huge bump for Tom van Steenbergen. He stays into 10th place. The wind is starting to pick up, which means danger. Danger means we check in with Tina Dixon.
When I talk to the riders, they always tell me that riding their bikes down Red Bull Rampage is a lot safer and easier than actually hiking down it. I don't know if I believe them about riding the bikes, because this is absolutely straight down and insane. This is the steepest mountain they've ever had, and by looking around me, I believe it.
Tina taking her life in her own hands and just one hand roping that thing.
Well, Tina hit the nail on the head. You don't want to stand on that stuff. If you have the skill to ride down that course, it is better to be on a bike, but just not a place where you're ever going to feel comfortable.
Kyle Strait is the next man to drop in looking for that elusive third title. The state of Utah has some of the most beautiful landscapes in the world, but there is more to these vistas than just looks. The limited vegetation provides a glimpse back in time, almost 2 billion years. Utah's unique geology has offered a glimpse into history, revealing evidence of dinosaurs and even Ice Age mammoths, proving there is much more to the majestic backdrop of Utah than meets the eye. More to come from Southern Utah. This is the Red Bull Signature Series. Welcome back to the Red Bull Signature Series. This is the freeride mountain bike event of the year, Rampage from Southern Utah. Two-time winner Kyle Strait is at the top of the course and contemplating his second run. Let's take a moment and listen in.
That's a confirmation. Kyle will not take a second.
So Kyle Strait, a two-time champion, is going to walk away from run number 2.
Well, he was waiting for wind originally, but we heard it right there. He was thinking, I'm sitting in 8th. You know, do I risk it? He's as veteran as they come out here, so taking everything into consideration, making his decision, we move on to the next rider.
So this will be 24-year-old Carson Storch. He finished 3rd last year. He's currently in 7th place with an 87.66.
Well, Carson's first run was, it was flawless. I'm just racking my brain right now trying to think of what he's going to try to do to improve upon his score. But this kid never ceases to surprise me, especially in high-pressure situations like right now.
And Cam, that's a great line because Kyle Strait's thinking the same thing. I've got a certain run, I've got a certain line. I don't think I have 10 more points I can squeeze out of it.
Well, when people drop in for their second run after a perfect first run, they have tricks up their sleeve. There was the first trick Carson had, backflipping up onto the ridge. He just did a no-hander on that feature last run, so already upping the ante. And we saw him 360 this huge drop in run number 1, the one that got him best trick last year and 3rd place. So let's see if he can land it here again. He goes for it, the 360.
Oh, not this time.
Oh, no. Coming up short on the landing.
That is a massive drop. Kurt Sorge, Cam Zink looking on.
Well, we've seen him with a flawless track record, 360 in that drop. He landed it twice in last year's event. He stomped it clean in run number 1. So let's take a look at what went wrong here in run number 2. As he eyes up his landing, he probably already knows he's short, only by about 3 or 4 inches, and that could not have felt good, but hopefully he's all right. Here we go, he's up.
So Carson Storch will stay with that first run score, which was a good one, an 87.66, which has him in 7th place. That is the scene at the top with just 2 riders to go as we check in with Sal.
Thank you, Todd. Can anyone catch Kurt Sorge? Is he really on his way to a record 3rd win? And does Cam Zink have anything left to possibly edge him past Sorge and get his 2nd win? Drama in our quest for the 2017 Rampage champion. We will find out who gets that crown when we return here to Virgin, Utah, only on the Red Bull Signature Series.
Current leader Canadian Kurt Sorge is looking at becoming the first ever 3-time winner of this event, but one man stands between him and that goal. American Cameron Zink would like nothing better than to return to the top of the podium and capture his 2nd Rampage win.
Well, here he goes, Todd. The go for broke mentality of Cam Zink is going to be on full display right here. I can guarantee it. He's creeping into the steepest line on the hill yet again. Oh, man. Even smoother this time, I swear, as he hits the step up, landing in a manual. So just an added degree of confidence rolling through this line right now. But he's going to have to do that flat drop flip again.
He's got 2nd place locked up here, but if you know Cam Zink like the rest of us do, he's going to go for this all out.
Yeah, he wants to win. He's won this event before. He would love nothing more than to do it again. He's going to pull out all the stops. Here he goes. He flips it again. And this time, 2 tires landing at the same time, doesn't over-rotate. He gets a toboggan on the skipper, putting his hand on the seat. Gets a little bit of a tabletop into that step-down flip. Oh, he's looking for a Superman. It didn't happen. But come on, hold it together. A front flip. Oh, come on. Oh, so close.
Within 100 yards of the finish line, and Cam Zink comes unglued from his machine.
That had to be one of the most action-packed runs ever, but look at that. Cam Zink's build crew congratulating Kurt Sorge.
Daughter Ayla gets a ride with Dad safely back into the corral, but that means Kurt Sorge will be the 2017 champion. Let's look at this one more time. Look how exposed and how steep that is.
So that's the craziest line, and it's hard to tell from this camera angle so far back, but that is so tough to be able to control the bicycle on that 61-degree slope. See, he over-rotated in run number 1, but he lands it perfectly, learning from his first attempt there. Couldn't have done it any better, but this front flip, I gotta think if he could have landed that, that could have been the run to win it out here. Came up a little bit short, a little bit off kilter. You can see the finish corral from where he crashed.
But a smile on his face, he is safely at the bottom. His wife Amanda happy to see him there. And there he is. Kurt Sorge will be the champion of Rampage 2017, and he is still gonna make his way down and give the fans a little show.
Well, good for Kurt. This guy has been looking so consistent all week. Out of all the riders in practice, he was getting the most riding in, making it look casual. And don't be fooled by the way this guy rides this line. This is one of the toughest lines on the hill, and the fact that he packs so many technical tricks into it, it's the definition of a Rampage winning run. Just showing how casual he is with this terrain. He's taking his victory lap. In the past, we've seen riders walk down knowing that it's so dangerous to just ride these lines. They usually don't risk it, but Kurt Sorge definitely on another level.
And Cam, his riding has been so smooth. With massive drops like that, he makes it look so easy. Even when he was talking to Tina after his first run, he was so casual about the fact.
Well, let's talk about this. He's officially the first guy to win this event 3 times in his career, something that we would have thought was unheard of a few years ago.
And the victory lap is complete. Kurt Sorge will be the champion in 2017.
A great camaraderie amongst these riders as Cam Zink congratulates Kurt Sorge. And of course, you gotta celebrate with your build crew. Alex Volkov right there soaking up this victorious moment.
The final results look like this. It's Canadian Kurt Sorge picking up his 3rd title at Rampage with a 92.66. Cam Zink in 2nd. The rookie Ethan Nell sitting in 3rd.
What a day. What an amazing day. And you are now the first person to have won Red Bull Rampage 3 times. How do you describe it? Because there was so many top to bottom runs from the guys.
Amazing day. The guys rode so well. Yeah, it was crazy. Probably one of the best Rampages. Yeah, like amazing runs. And I'm just happy I made it down and got the run I wanted. And yeah, feeling amazing.
What did you think of Cam? Cam Zink's 2nd run, I mean, he was putting it on the line.
Yeah, Cam's definitely all or nothing kind of guy, and like one of my favorite riders, always has been. And you know, I wish he would have landed it, but you know, I guess more years, and I don't know, can't be too upset. I'm just, I don't know, speechless, I guess.
All right, well, it's a team effort. You did it. How do you recognize the diggers, that they did so much work for you, especially because they were up last night working on that drop?
Yeah, my diggers, can't thank them enough. They've been with me the last 3 years. You know, Alex Volkov is one of my best friends and riding buddies back home, and, you know, hopefully see him in this event soon. And then, you know, Dave Santanov is just a animal, human excavator, and just a guy I grew up with and always have fun with. So just so stoked to be able to share with them and party with all the boys and, yeah, take it home.
Go celebrate. Enjoy this, guys. Kurt Sorge is your Red Bull Rampage winner.
Well, with so many remarkable feats achieved here today on two wheels, how do you pick just one moment? The answer? You look for one that didn't start on two wheels, but on 2 feet. On the most exposed pinnacle of the course today, Tom van Steenbergen achieved a first here at Rampage, which is sure to be talked about for years to come, by doing a caveman drop into the heart of the mountain, a feat that not only took courage, but incredible imagination. A massive congratulations to Tom van Steenbergen in redefining creativity here at Rampage and receiving today's Red Bull signature moment.
Well, certainly a well-deserving signature moment, but at Red Bull Rampage, we've come to expect first, and again, another one this year, a first 3-time champion in Kurt Sorge.
Yeah, this event is known for breaking down boundaries, making history. It's definitely a historical moment, the first time anybody's ever won 3. But let's think about some of the individual feats. Cam Zink doing the largest vertical flat drop backflip in the history of freeride mountain biking. I can't wait to see what's in store for us next year.
Well, that's the 12th edition, and it certainly lived up to the hype. With that, we send it back to Sal Masekela in the studio.
Thank you, Todd Harris. Rampage never disappoints. Thanks to all of you for joining us here at the 2017 edition of Rampage in southwestern Utah. Only way to describe this performance by Kurt Sorge, sheer and utter complete dominance as he captures his 3rd Red Bull Rampage title. As well, congratulations to Cam Zink for getting 2nd. And how about the local rookie, Ethan Nell? What a way to debut, capturing 3rd place. Once again, thank you for hanging out with us here today. And on behalf of our entire NBC Sports crew, including Todd Harris, Cam Mccall, Tina Dixon, and yours truly, we will see you next time.